Hey, that was good. God did. Yes, He did. Oh, everything that happened to me that was good. God did. Yes, He did. He picked me up, turned me around, placed my feet on solid ground. Everything that happened to me that was good, God did. Yes, He did. To me that was good, the Master did it, and I thank Him today. Hey, 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 it's Reverend Canady Benjamin, and I came here today to share my story. In 2016, I had a lump. The lump was under my arm, and I thought that, God, we don't know what this is, but I'm going to put it in your hands. Later, it turned out that there was another lump. It came in my breast, my left side. I had just started a position at a job that I loved, helping people, and my insurance hadn't started yet. So I wondered and pondered and prayed, Lord, what do I do? What do I do? I remember just giving it to God, just saying, God, I can't handle this. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to give it to you right now, that whatever it is, I know you got it and you got me. So as I was praying daily about this lump, now there was two. There was one under my arm, and there was one growing in my left breast. I didn't have insurance, but I had a job, and I kept praying. And one day I was praying so hard, tears were just coming out of my eyes, but I was constantly moving. I was on my way to work, and I was doing what I needed to be doing. And I had to get some papers copied at the main office. And as I was standing there in front of the printer, right behind the printer, there was a notice from Partners for Breast Cancer. And I looked and I stared at it, and I remember on my way to the car, as I was praying, I looked down and there was a penny. And people say, oh, which side the penny on? Is it on the head? Is it on the tail? And that day, as I looked at the penny, God said, pick up the penny. I need you to do something too. Pick up the penny. I need you to do something too. So I picked up the penny and got in the car, throwed it over in the little change container. And I thought about it anymore. I didn't think about it anymore. I just went on to work. And as I said, now we're at the printer, and I'm looking up and I see this Partners for Breast Cancer sign on the behind the printer, and I wrote the number down, and I'm thinking, what does he want me to do? So I called the number. Later on that day, that afternoon, I called the number. And I was overwhelmed with different emotions, wondering, are they going to be able to help me? What kind of help are they going to give me? What am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to do? And that's when it hit me. Pick up the penny. I had to bend over and physically do something to get that penny. So I called Partners for Breast Cancer, and my little angel answered the phone, and I told her what was going on, and I was told, don't worry about it. We're going to help you. We're going to help you. And if it wasn't for Partners, I wouldn't have been able to get my diagnosis. I wouldn't have been able to start treatment. Once they started, Janet, Darnell, and her whole crew, they started working and looking and figuring. And next thing I know, it was, hey, you're gonna go to this doctor and they're gonna do this. Then they're gonna send you to this doctor and they're gonna do. And it was just right. I mean, it just went so quickly. And then the day came, November the 2nd. Doctor called. She said, I usually don't do this over the phone, but at this point, I don't want you to waste a trip coming to my office. I want you to go straight to the cancer center. There, Dr. Rock looked at me. They examined me. They found the lumps. They sent me to the mammograms. And these are things that Partners paid for. These are the things that Partners for Breast Cancer, that's what they paid for. They started the journey for me to wellness, to being healed and whole, because I had to pick up the penny. I had to do something. I couldn't just pray it away. God said, I need you to do something. So, after that, I sat there and I pondered. When I got my diagnosis, I was about to leave to go and do an interview for a second job. See, my daughter had just came home and she told me she was pregnant with my first grandchild. So I wanted a second job on top of this job so I could make sure that my baby had everything she needed. I sat on the side of the couch when Dr. Williams gave me that diagnosis. And right at that moment, it's like God sat down with me. I heard an audible voice talk to me and say, this sickness is not to death, but this is something I need you to do. I need you to go through this and get through this because someone needs to see you get through it. Someone needs to know that they can get through this. I went on to my interview. Got the job. Tears in my eyes. I know these people at this job wondering, what is wrong with this lady? Is she high? Some of her eyes probably bloodshot red. But I was just moving. I was continuing to go, to move. I didn't know if I would tell my daughter or not. She's pregnant with my first grandbaby. I don't want the stress of this on her. But I did. And she became one of my strongest supporters. All that to say, it takes strength, it takes courage. But first, it takes a diagnosis. It took for them to tell me that I had to do something for these lumps to go away, that I needed to move. My pastor now, Doug Taylor, he says he promised and he believes with everything in his heart that if you move, God will move. That comes to life to me every time I hear him say it. Because had I not bent over to pick up that penny and heard God say, I want you to do something too. You're going to have to do something too. Had it not been for Partners for Breast Cancer and giving me a way, an outlet to do what God was calling me to do. Sisters and brothers, because there are many men that have had breast cancer. Not just prostate, but breast cancer. I tell you today, you can do it. You can. Give it to your God, my God. He said, this sickness is not to death, and I believed him. Blessed is she who believed that he would fulfill his promises to her, and he did. I thank Janet Darnell with all of my heart. Everyone at Breast Cancer, Partners for Breast Cancer, I thank them fully. Yes, my words are stumbling over. Yes, my joy, though, is full. And it is all intact in one place. That audible voice telling me, I need you to do this. I need you to go through this. And Janet Darnell's loving kindness, her warm and generous heart, her faithfulness to partners, to the women in the community, to women anywhere that she comes in contact with, anyone that she shares her story with, gains strength. I applaud you, Janet. I love you, Janet. And I will always be your friend. Again, this is Canady Benjamin, and I'm just sharing with you a part of my story. This may be the first edition, but we got to go and start somewhere because he said, I want you to do something too. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. And if she finds fit to share this video at the many, many raisers and fundraisers and events that she's a part of, I thank you for sharing my story. I love you. And let's all, in our way, support Partners for Breast Cancer Research. It truly was a blessing to me. Thank you. This is Canady Benjamin, and I'm out.